Hey, Belle, how are you? Good to see you. Good morning to you as well. Oh, yes. I had one cup of coffee thus far, and I am ready for more coffee, I think. But I am happy. I wound up having to actually take like a makeup day off from work to catch up on a whole bunch of projects around my house, and I realized I had just had a whole bunch of stuff that I should probably get done because this is like a super crazy weekend because the upcoming weekend is my birthday and the last weekend was my craft fair, so it's like there's just no days off in the middle. But anyway, it is good to see you. Happy day 5 of Advent. I have a funny story to tell you, but let me just flop down to my desk for a second. So I found my my art journaling notebook. So this is the stencil from yesterday, and I think the idea is these are actually check boxes as opposed to like the pattern that we wound up making. Um, We'll see if we can use this in the card today. But then you can use these banners. So you could use these either with ink or the other thing you can do is I think I had to scrap something somewhere. Oh, here's the scrap envelope. But what you can do with these lines, I think, is that you could make a checkbox out of these just by doing this. And then you can make sort of a line to wherever that line is. Here we go. That didn't write very well. There we are. So you could sort of do that to I'll have to see if I can get this off there. But yeah, you could do that. And then you could have something you could write essentially when you used it, you could say to do. And then when it's done, you could check it off. Um, so that's pretty neat. These ones at the bottom here, I think, are a similar idea where basically it gives you a line and then you can just sort of fill this all the way in. And, then you have a thing that you can write something on. I was thinking it would be fun to use some of the stickers I actually have from my friend who does a lot of stuff with planner stickers. Actually, from last year Christmas, they were some of her Christmas stuff, and this and the stencil from yesterday, and maybe do I don't know, like a Christmas gratitude journaling kind of thing. But that was sort of I wanted to sort of show this, and that's what they Craft Stash did on their demo. But I kind of wanted to show sort of the um, you know idea behind it. And also, if you have one of these little itty bitty blending brushes, you can use that to go over that as well. If you're not really a fine liner person. Well, I was looking at them to see. So I actually got this from Let's Make Art. It was part of their. They don't do boxes anymore. I think they reformulated a little bit, but it was part of their art journaling box, and let me show you. It is great. This one is really nice. I'll have to break it out so that you can actually see it, but obviously I have many things. So the idea is that in the middle you just use elastic to keep this into an art journaling notebook or a traveler's notebook. But the nice thing is it's very well stitched along the edge. Here you can kind of see that. And so that means it will lie flat. The other cool thing is the way this paper is set up. Um, Actually, I might be wrong. I thought that's some of these used to have sort of a textured side and a smooth side. They feel all smooth in this particular notebook. But anyway, um, so you could bend this back and you can do some really nice spreads. This is I used one for painting and some other things, but they're really durable because of the way the the stitched binding basically means they don't fall apart. And if you do paint on these, the actual pages get really thick. So anyway, it's a great traveler's notebook. I think I this was the only one I had left. I used all the other ones, but it's funny. I was asking some of my friends who had this advent calendar, I was kind of like, I'm sorry I'm doing live videos on these. I hope they're not you know, ruining your surprise. And everybody's like, no, no, we just opened it. Um, Let me see. No, that was day 4. We're just about to open day 5. Okay, we will open it. Anyway. Yeah. So actually, I'll give a preview. It's not really a spoiler. It's a preview. So on Christmas, we'll be live at early o'clock because I'm going live with my friend from the Philippines at 7 a.m. Eastern, or which is for her in the evening, and we are going to talk about making our own advent calendars. So there are definitely ways to do that. Um, my friend Lynn has a really good tutorial on her channel if you want a larger format advent calendar where you have boxes that are pretty big for sort of little gifts and whatnot. Anyway, yes, I love the notebook. So if you Google, I forget who makes these. If you Google Carpe Diem Traveler's Notebook insert, these are actually on sale at the moment for 6.99. I noticed when I Googled it this morning to see if they were still for sale because I was like, I'm gonna feel bad like saying you should totally get this notebook if it didn't exist. But anyway, day 5, made to surprise. That is the designer name. So the name on the spine that's not the day, that's the actual like designer. Anyway, if you notice, we haven't repeated yet. So I think the first repeat will be textures on day whatever. Day 7, I think, is when we start to repeat. So we got a couple days. So I think for my recaps, I'll just do 7 days because that would probably make sense. Anyway, what do we have? I'll say this is lighter, so maybe it's another sticker. I'm hoping we get dyes at some point, but I don't know. We'll see. I guess I'll say like I do like that they've been giving us a lot of stuff. Ooh, that looks like a dye. Oh, what are you? So it looks like and this is actually on a really, and the dyes are pre-cut. So we have some little leaves and flowers. Get this open. I think we'll have to die cut something and see what it is. This has sort of a geometric embossing that's really neat. I don't know if that reads on camera. Wow. My camera does not like that. Anyway, it's sort of a geometric pattern. So I think my thought is if you die cut two, they're too big. But if you die cut two, you could do them back to back. I don't know. We could do that and maybe do like a geometric thing and then um, die cut out a leaf and flower. I do have I do have the baby die cutter if I can find plates for it. Yeah, we have plates. We just need to find some this and that's, little scrappy bits of cardstock. But let's open this up. Well, it's interesting because it felt super light. Well, I don't know. See, I'm planning to actually keep all the stuff in these folders so that I don't lose it. Because last year I got an advent calendar and promptly lost a whole bunch of the stuff. Um, so these are attached with double stick tape. This is really heavy duty acetate though, which I like. And these are pre-cut. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do. So this one definitely fits in the baby embossing machine, which is good for us. If we're thinking, what do we want to do? This is jumping all over the place. So if we wanted to do sort of have these meet in the middle, a green or a teal or a something like that. I don't know. I think maybe a green or a teal would be neat, and that maybe a lighter green or a blue. I have a blue there. Let me grab some paper quick. Let's see. Now we could do like the teal. We use really pink, and then I need another green. So I grabbed a couple different things. Let me see. Yeah, that's what I did last year, and then like I forgot where I put the plastic bag. And this year's advent calendar, for better or worse, has bigger stuff. I do like your like Hot Wheels one, Miss Bell. I've been really enjoying that one. It's looked pretty cool. Um, so here are the colors I picked. I couldn't quite decide. So I pulled the teal we've been using. This, oh goodness. So I pulled the teal. My camera's being a little weird on this. Then I pulled a real green. I also pulled sort of a cranberry red, and then I pulled a vibrant pink. And I haven't decided if I want the flower to be red or pink. I'm thinking maybe cut the geometric piece out of this and then do the leafy pieces. The leaves aren't really Christmas foliage, they're more like tropical leaves, but we're gonna run with that. Um so I think I just need a paper cutter to make that figure out whatever size this is and make that. And then I can just use little pieces. I think we can use our card front from yesterday and make a weird card because that's kind of what we're up to this morning. I'll just cheat and say I should really remember how wide this thing is. I think it's like 3 inches. 3 inches. That looks not. That looks too wide. Let's do that and see how that looks, and hope that's not too wide for the die. No, this looks about perfect. Hooray! Let's just chop that in half so it's a little easier to deal with. There we are. So we have that as sort of a starting point, and then I think we can die cut this twice and see how that looks. And hopefully it'll be fun. We don't lose pieces. I guess, is this? Ooh, I might be able to get two out of a single sheet. That would be kind of cool. Because I certainly don't have enough paper, where we have to be worried about saving paper. Uh, but we'll see. I like to be efficient. There's nothing wrong with that. And wow, you could really hear this thing cracking. Hopefully that's not like super obnoxious for you all. Now, this didn't quite punch all the way through, probably because of how I did that. Um, let's try that again. Let's try the other piece. I think that that just might be the die might just be too close to the edge on this guy to uh get enough pressure. So let's try this. See if that worked better. It most certainly did. Okay. And the this is going to be pretty subtle. The emboss is pretty subtle. Unless you're just a we could I might just leave it as subtle. I kind of like this as a look. Um I'm okay with it being subtle. Of course you could use ink over the top, and now I wrecked two pieces, so let's cut another one. Um I get so you could definitely do that too, depending on sort of what you're going for. I think we said a little less than three was the right answer. And we'll just put this right on back through. There we go. Well, I think I made this a hair too wide. So I will just sort of chop this off. We can probably use this for die cutting something smaller later on. There we are. For better or worse, it doesn't really love it when you try and put through something that's too wide. But I do love it. I do love the small die cutter machine. Oh, and that cut perfectly too. Okay, so that is the answer. But I think the what we can do is like put these together, and then that'll sort of complete the pattern where we have a little triangle in the middle, and then we can put our flower there. So I think these two will just orient and glue them together. Yeah, I kind of like how that looks. Although we might want ink blend on top of this and see if we can't bring out those score lines a little bit. I think that would be a good idea. Sorry, guys, I am missing anything. Oh, that's a good idea. I have a couple of those. Ooh, what kind of a stamp maker are you getting, Miss Bell? That sounds exciting. I have I'm really looking forward to trying out my what is it called? The Xyron thing next time I do a we could do these in metallic green. That might look neat. But we'll do where did I put my green? My real green is here. I think I can just grab a little piece out of that because I'm only gonna need a couple of leaves. And then we can save most of this for something else. But I think I can just run this through and then get a second leaf. Yeah, that cut quite nicely. And those are because this middle is open, these are really easy to get out too, which is nice. Because I'm not really a fan of having to pokey tool out the die cuts. There we are. My thought is what we could do is sort of arrange these two sort of leaf to leaf on top of the other one once we figure it out. And then you could just sort of have the flower in the middle and then grab one of those sediments of which we have a bunch. I think this is supposed to be a hibiscus, but I don't know. It's a some kind of flower. Um, I'm thinking pink for the flower because I think everything else is going to be sort of a green tone. So having something that sort of pops. I don't know if you guys have thoughts. I feel like the red would be more Christmassy, but the pink would be a lot more interesting. Oh, like yeah, like a woodblock print kind of a thing. That's really cool. I think I'm gonna do pink because I would rather do. I kind of like flowers when they're more vibrant anyway. Um, I may get roasted by one of my friends for this not being Christmassy enough, but I think they'll live. And this cutout as well. And there's a little pink bit. I think that's all the die cutting I need to do. So I'm going to put this little guy aside. And I think all we have to do, well, I think we're going to do a little ink blending. See if maybe we can use, maybe this skylight, I think might bring out those score lines. I'd really like to bring out the design a little bit more. Oh my goodness, I appreciate that the uh the dies are pre-cut so I don't mangle myself. Now, if you have one of these pockets that has this little uh sticky line on them, To make it easier to actually like store things, all you really have to do is cut it off. And I did a very not good job at that, but there we go. That's better. And then you're not really having to fight with stickiness, but you still have somewhere for your dies or stamps or whatever to live if uh, they come in something like this. Because now it can just slide in and out. And I will put this guy back. And I do like that the dies are on a backer. My last year's advent calendar series, I got a couple dies, but they weren't backed on anything, and I just got ink all over my hand because I was trying to get the stickiness off my desk. Hooray. Um anyway, they weren't backed, so it was just a little plastic bag with dies in them, which got a little harder to deal with. Let me see if I can grab my much loved thing I've been inking on for a while now. And we have our ink and we have our little brushy. Let's just make sure. We'll just test this. I don't think there's much dark green left. Yeah. You can always just sort of blend it off on here. This will be a little darker probably than the color, but what I'm going to do is try and be a little light-handed, which isn't my norm, and see if we can't bring out the design a little bit more. It makes it a little more visible. It's still not super duper visible, which is fine. I'm curious if this is actually designed for you to fold on these score lines in some way. Because, like, you could fold this down the middle easily, and then potentially um, you have two triangles. So I don't know what that would do. Anyway, we're probably, as per my norm, we're probably using this not in the way it was designed, but that's okay. Um, and we'll just bring this in a little bit. This is quite subtle, but I think it'll be fun. Let me see if you can. Yeah, see, you can see the score lines a little bit better, but they're still pretty subtle. I'm curious. I'm always curious to watch the videos after I do these things to like figure out what you were supposed to do with the stuff or, the suggested usefulness. So I think this is going to line up right about here. Then we have this sort of square that we can do our focal point in. Let's see what sort of a card base. I don't really want white because it's already white, so like a pink might be fun. Like, I mean, this is a little more brown than pink, but I think something like that might be neat. The other option, well, we have many, many options. Green glitter might pop it a bit. I do like the green glitter. I'll save that one potentially. We could do just I think I have a lighter pink. Well, these are more orangey. Yeah, so this is a lighter pink, which might also be kind of an interesting vibe. This I feel like is too pale. I'm not like it feels a very spring pink. Maybe this darker pink I like though. I think we'll do that one. Let's see, just you can just sort of fit this together. Yeah, I like that. Like it's pink, but it's not super duper pink. And then what we can do is basically just sort of, do a cute little spray of tropical leaves, and then um, probably we want to sort of align the stem somehow. We'll see. If not, we may wind up like cutting off. I may cut off the stems. Yeah, I think I'll cut off the stems, and then we can just have the. You may want to do, yeah, because if we cut off the stems, I think you could just have the flower kind of coming out of the middle like that, and that would look pretty cool. So I think I'll do a little dye surgery. These are really nice little stems too, so I'm a little sorry to see them go. But, they will forever live on in our memory. There we go. And now I think that'll be easier to put together. Let's see what I am missing. Yeah, I like pink. I mean, I like especially like this is reading not as vibrant. This is like a very hot pink, kind of doll pink. It's reading a little less vibrant on camera today. I don't know. It might be. Let me glue this together and let's cut one out and like let's screw around with it and try and figure out what it's actually for. But I'll get this together and then we can go back into whatever day we got all those sentiments and grab a sentiment for it. And then we can sort of play around. It feels like it might be a mechanism. I do think that is probably the right answer here. Because I feel like they would have made a darker, like a more deeper score line if the goal was for the score line to be more of a graphic element. So I do think the odds of it being a mechanism of some sort are pretty high. Whoa, that's a little off center. No, we can't peel that one up. Oh, shoot. I think we're going to, well, we can just sort of overlap these, I think, and that'll be fine. And then we have that sort of strong line there that we can utilize in some way. A mechanism. It might be a mechanism. I think that's the right answer. But uh but we have this nice line here where we can it should help us line up all of our leaves in our floral. And I'm not being like super particular about how I'm gluing this because I really just want the leaves to stick down. I mean, I don't think it's going to be because I think that I do want to be a little careful on the flower. Oops, sorry about that. There you can see what I'm working on. So I am hitting the stem of the flower. And if you're a detailed person who has tweezers, you can use those. But I think that's pretty cool as sort of a just a sort of a neat graphic element. And see if I see where my bling ran off to. If not, we can bling with new bling. It definitely feels like it could use a few little bling bits here and there. What day was that? It was day 3, I think, came with the sentiments. Yep. I think Hello Beautiful in pink seems like the right sentiment to use here. And we'll just sort of center that here. And I'm not using my centering ruler for like the 900th time, even though I have one and I really should use it. But it's kind of like one of those if it's not on your desk, it's sort of uh you can sort of forget about it. So I think this we can find some maybe we'll just find some kind of bling in the bling pile. Ooh, you're cute. I'm liking this. These are like purple spellbinders dots. We do have some crystals. The crystals might be nice too. Those are sort of pretend rhinestones. I have green crystals. I have some other gemstony things. I have, oh goodness, lots of things that are falling on the floor. And Christmas candy sprinkles. I don't know that the color palette is right for these. These would be kind of fun though. What else do we have? We have blue. Ooh, I like this as an idea. Like a pale blue, like an ice blue gems. I'm kind of digging that. Well, I'm very 80s, so it probably makes sense. I don't know. As per all the other ones, well, I didn't mess up the deer. The deer made sense. I did the deer in a way that I think I want to just bling around the sentiment a little bit. Do like that and that. And be a couple more. I always like using a few more of these like itty bitty ones. And then maybe another itty bitty one. Yeah, there we go. Maybe move those a little bit in. These Spellbinders ones are not super duper sticky, so I don't know. You might need to go back in with Barely Art and glue that down a little bit more. Okay, so this is our day 5 card, which uses the planners from yesterday, sticking the planner stencils from yesterday, the 2 dies from today, and such. But let us go back in and let me find that die again. I did such a good job putting things away. So three, oh, there it is. One, two, three. But let's punch another one of these out and just sort of play with it. Because I think the idea that this is a mechanism of some sort might be correct. Of what sort of a mechanism it is, we shall see. Or maybe it folds into more of a 3D element of some sort. We are sort of crafting blind. Although, do I have? Well, I could just cut another piece of pink off, I guess, since it's right here. I do feel like I might be doing an oopsie, but we'll figure it out. Um, of course, there are the Craft Stash has really neat, good project videos on these every day. So like eventually the mystery will be solved if I don't drop Memento on the floor again. Anyway, so now we have another one of these, and my thoughts is it definitely folds down the middle. So if we just do this, then basically we have these corner pieces. Am I folding that wrong? Yeah, I folded that wrong. Never mind. Those are sort of on the end. So we have these corner pieces that go together. Now, in theory, this could be a mechanism of some sort. And then if we fold this back down, the way these are supposed to. eh. So this could be like uh, and then I think this, yeah, this folds and this folds. So you kind of have this and then these two. So it could be a mechanism, I guess. Like, you could perhaps you could definitely mount something on this. Yeah, maybe. Oh, maybe that's how it's supposed to work. Like, you know, like uh like this is sort of, I guess, how would that work? It would collapse like this when the card was closed, right? If these were glued. And then as you opened it, these could pretend, I mean, as you opened it, these would sort of lift and separate, and then you'd have this little piece. Or I guess you could do it this way, and then you could like use some of these smaller die pieces like on the face here or something. I don't know. It is a mystery. We will have to revisit this tomorrow after I watch the video. Yeah, mine too. You have to push it in to make a triangle. Oh, I see. So like this goes in. Oh, I see what you're saying. So like these fold in like this. So you have sort of a, oh, are you saying like, oh, I get it. Where you're saying like, if you fold this in, okay. So like if you have a, this way, you have a triangle. I guess if these are attached, I've kind of mangled this now. But if we go back and look at the original, you're saying like these pieces you would then also fold in. So you'd like double fold it so that you'd have, these would become triangles, I guess. I don't know. It is a mystery, but I think the guess that it's a mechanism of some sort is definitely the right answer, though. Um, I'll also say I've gotten a lot of Happy Mail, but some of it is likely birthday themed, so I'm going to hold it until Saturday, which is the 9th, and we're going to do a birthday stream. So that's upcoming. I'll say today and then the 8th and the 9th, they're all Instagrammy hop things. So if you want to see more projects, feel free to cruise over there. Um, and I'll just show our last little thing. And I mean, in theory, you might need multiple of these to make something too. That like they might go together to make like a 3D structure of some sort. But we will have to chat about that at a future date. So thanks, guys, for dropping by. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. I haven't scheduled it. I'm thinking either noon or 6. I'll try and get it on the calendar and then I'll put up a community post once I figure it out. Um, I do feel like these like check boxes, like this pattern to me looks very 80s too. Anyway, I guess I still managed to get this kind of off center, but that's all right. It looks graphic and as though we intended it, so that's probably what matters the most, right? But yeah, I don't think Lynn's streaming, so I think there'll be lots of afternoon time. I know that and it's a Saturday, so I don't think anyone else streams regularly. But anyway, it was great talking to you guys, and it should be a busy week or busy end of the week anyway. And I hope you guys have a good one. I will probably be back in my normal 6 p.m. slot tomorrow with day 6, and hopefully we'll figure out what the mechanism thingy is, and then we can try playing with that. Because I do like kind of doing the project with some of the other supplies after we see sort of the tutorial ideas, because I think those have been pretty fun so far. Anyway, talk to you guys later, and have a great rest of your day.